Hi, Trevor here, Life Reflections through Music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's really great you guys are here. Now, I'm not going to go to the music quite yet, the little title I do, because this video is in response to why this channel. So I thought, yeah, it's a good opportunity for me to talk a little bit about the reason why I'm doing this and why I'm so excited about it, I suppose. And so, a little bit about myself first. My name's Trevor. I live in South Australia. Probably shouldn't say too much more than that because of privacy reasons, but in a house of a few people, which is pretty cool. Adult children and all the rest of it. And I suppose for me, I'm involved a lot with people and their journeys. And so, yeah, Life Reflections through Music, what can we say about it? Well, it started quite a long time ago when I started a series on social media about just an artist, and then I'd write a bit about them, and then I'd put a link to one of their songs. Its music has been an incredible inspiration to me over many years, and I suppose I just wanted to share that with whoever wanted to listen. And so, what went from being, I suppose, written posts, went to around May last year. That's 2020 when it all kind of happened, I suppose. I thought, well, I could actually do videos on this. And so, I actually started in the end of the D's because that's where I was up to in my social media post. Don Henley was the last guy I'd done, so I thought, well, let's just keep it going. And do video posts instead. But then I looked back at because I have playlists, a letter per playlist, and I went back and I realised there were no A, B's and C's there, so I thought, well, I better go back and do them again. And sure enough, around 170 videos later, we're still going, and we've only just hit D. One thing I find though is that you may go back and remember someone in A you haven't done. I think, oh, I better go back and do those guys, or someone else suggests to you. I think, well, yeah, I better go back and do those. So you may find me, I tend to do my artists in alphabetical order, but you may find myself floating back to A or B or C because I'm thinking, oh, I didn't get those guys. That's right. And so there we go. I'm totally inspired by the richness that artists and their creative geniuses have brought to this world. And so, this is why we do these videos. One thing you'll notice, I never embed my videos in videos. I don't really think that's such a good idea. There are many people out there that do it, and that's for them. But for me, I always put the links in the description below because then you can choose what you have a look at. So I suppose just to give a bit of an idea of kind of what happens behind the scenes a little bit, what I'm looking at right now, I'm sitting in our lounge room and I quite like the backdrop of the piano and the cabinet. That looks pretty cool, and the lighting in here is pretty good as well. I've just got an iPad sitting on a music stand, and sometimes up on the music stand might put some notes, and quite often I'll put some notes more about the artist and some of their significant things. You might notice I talk about, how many albums they've had and any awards they've won and any other little significant things that are about them. And I also talk a little bit about the impact they've had on me as an individual. And so, yeah, that's what happens there. And we're not scared to go into any music genre here. We certainly up to this point we've gone through many. We've gone, I suppose, working from the heaviest down to the lightest. We have gone heavy metal with a recent request by Black Sabbath. I was thinking Pink Floyd right then, and that's the other thing you'll notice about me. Sometimes I get my words mixed up. I'm not going to edit that stuff out. It's just what you see is what you get. But yeah, Black Sabbath. So we gave Ozzy and the boys a bit of a go. Now if we move down to more hard pelting rock, we think of bands like AC/DC as they got a bit of a go. Then we think about, I suppose, arena rock bands like Bon Jovi. Yes, they've certainly had a bit of a go with Living on a Prayer. Was such an iconic song of theirs. And we're in the rock genre. We then think about the progressive rock, particularly in the UK. Bands like the Electric Light Orchestra, and yes, they did get a bit of a series because they're my favourite band. And also bands like the Buggles, who Video Killed the Radio Star. And then if we go down to more soft rock, and I can't believe how many bands are actually in soft rock. We think of bands like Air Supply. and bands like Al Stewart and Bread and America and bands like that. They've all received a bit of a Guernsey. So we've got the soft rock, then we've got the more folk rock bands like Bread, with a beautiful song If. They've had a bit of a go. Then we go to country, and we've had Billy Ray Cyrus was back to Tennessee. That was a song in the country genre. Very much not scared to go into that genre. Folk genres as well. We've even gone into children. We've had Five Little Ducks. that came as a request, and we've also had Bob the Builder. And when you think of iconic rockers, people like Bob Seger and the impact he's had on the world. We've then also gone for classical, and I've mentioned Wagner and who else? Bach and Mozart. You know, Mozart writes 600 pieces of music and he only lived to the age of 35. Just goes to show that there's some incredible talent out there. And then we think about the iconic pop. We think about bands like ABBA, the Bay City Rollers. They both had a go. And then we think of those that can't be limited to a genre because they are a genre. People like the Beatles, and they received 3 videos because of their impact in the music industry. David Bowie's another one that originally completed a couple of videos on. And then we might also go to some iconic performers of the past. Now, I know that Gene Kelly got a bit of a go, and also Al Jolson, and now people that have cited him as a major influence in their careers. There's just so many that have cited him, and so yes, he got a couple of videos. And aside from that one, the fact that, you know, memories of my dad doing the Al Jolson Mime Act were very much there. So we're not scared to do any genres. Christian music's another one that we do. And as I talk about with Christian music, yeah, it's a genre that probably goes into places that makes us tick as human beings, unlike any other. People like Amy Grant and people like that. And so, you know, we go through all manner of genre, from the very, very heavy down to the very, very light. Oh yeah, that's right, we had rap in there. We got the Black Eyed Peas as well. So, you know, we go into any sort of genre, and as it turns out, it's quite easy for me to select because I just go to the next artist in my iTunes playlist generally. Sometimes I go back when I haven't forgotten. And if someone does make a request, and that's part of the deal with this channel, that if someone does make a request, yeah, we'll put it in there for sure. And often we might break up the Life Reflections Through Music series just to put a request in there, because you'll note there's kind of reflections through music and then requests in this channel, and they kind of all meld together beautiful into my playlists, as I've mentioned, which you'll notice are in alphabetical order. And you can just go to A. If you don't, for instance, you're looking up the Beatles, for instance, you could go to B and you'd see there are actually 3 videos for the Beatles. If you go to E and the Electric Orchestra, you notice it's about 13. But as I said, that was because they're my favourite band. I had to give them a bit more of a go. And so that's about the music. I always, and then from there, we normally make some reflection on the song. So, for instance, the guy I recorded today, David Meese, which is coming up in a little while, with one of his songs lean on each other. I've looked about the fact that in this world of COVID at the moment, we need each other more than ever. Or we might look at the potency and power of love, or what's it like when there's been a loss, or the human spirit and what awakens us and inspires us. The songs provide so many opportunities for us to talk about so many different things that there's no shit just up to talk about. Where do I get these thoughts from? I suppose it's through my own life journey, and also through being around people a lot. You get to experience all sorts of ways of talking about stuff. My hope, as always, is that the reflections will be positive, and that they'll be an encouragement to you. You never know where inspiration comes from. Sometimes it comes from the most unusual of the places. And I suppose my hope is that it will be as an encouragement to you in your own life journey. I'm not scared to talk about stuff that can be a little bit trickier too. So, you know, sometimes we need to hear, I could just do the whole way a look at me thing, but for me it's important that connection is more the thing. And it's so cool to have people come up to me and talk about the fact, I really enjoyed that video, and what about these guys? And it's really exciting to hear that sort of thing. And so that's where the reflections come from, and I try to weave the song and some of the songwriter's thoughts into those reflections. Normally, then I'll refer to the clips, and sometimes there might be one clip, sometimes there might be two clips, and in case of Cher, there were a few because of her journey. But I try to get a live version in there because it's nothing better than seeing somebody performing live. And if there is a really amazing official clip, I'll chuck that one in there as well. Sometimes if there's some related, unrelated or related topic, I might put in that one in there as well. When I did Black Sabbath and War Pigs, I just had to put in something about Colonel Melchett from the Blackadder series just to bring that whole story to life just that little bit more. And you'll always notice that, particularly in the Life Reflections through Music series, not so much the reflections part, but I'll always put my last video from last time so that you can recap on that one if you would like. This is the whole point of this channel. It's if you wish and feel free. There's no demanding here. There's no just imploring you to hang around. It's more, and I'd never say please subscribe to the channel, by the way. If you like it, you're going to subscribe. I'll just leave that one up to you. But I suppose the encouragement always is that when you do click on one of my videos, you kind of do hang around to the end. Because, we can get a lot of views, but, sometimes not so many people hang around. So the encouragement always is for you to hang around to the end because you might find it interesting. And the encouragement also is, because as I said, it's Life Reflections through Music and Life Reflections requests. Now, many of the requests come from conversations with people, which is, I suppose, the ultimate in requests. And so you think, oh, I'd like to have a request by this band or this guy or this girl, but I don't know the song. Just give me the artist and I'll try and find the song just that hopefully you will like. But if you've got a song in particular, by all means put that up and I'll certainly make some reflection on it. The requests are often a little bit more standalone, but sometimes we do weave in other things, other videos into it. And you might notice from time to time there are some continuing stories in some of these videos. The stories that, like, I'm thinking of a particular a girl that had lost all her friends. She ends up in a piano bar, hence the Piano Man from Billy Joel. And then there was an uplifting song at the end, and she was able to find her life. So sometimes there's a continuing stories in these videos. You never really know until you get there what's going to happen. And sometimes for me, I don't have any notes about the reflections. I say I'm just going to talk and we'll see what happens. Normally between the 10 to 20 minutes, somewhere around the 13, 14 minute mark, and we're done. So that's a little bit more about me. Very much, again, the why of this channel is all about you guys and it being an encouragement, nothing more. I don't ever want to get any money for doing this stuff because I'm using inspiration of the artists and they don't deserve to have money made off them like that. So no payment here, no money. It's totally transparent, totally clear, and it's all about you guys. Yeah, and so I hope that's helped you out a little bit with this channel called Life Reflections through Music. I want to thank people who have shown an interest in it and getting engaged, and it's always an encouragement to me because we do need encouragement with this sort of stuff, that is for sure. Now you might note that at the beginning of each of my videos I've got this little title. It's the one with the stream and the Life Reflections theme, and then that little bit of piano. I just let you know that I'm the one playing the piano there. I do play piano myself and actually enjoy music very much. And if we do ever get to T, we're currently in D, give or take. I've got a few A's to do yet. I might put a song out there. And of course, if someone says, Trevor, let's hear one of yours, well, I'd consider that as a request, I suppose. So that's a little bit about this channel, and I suppose the encouragement to everybody out there, feel free to make a request. More than happy to look at any song. As you said, I did Five Little Ducks the other day and we had a lot of fun with Humpty from Play School with that one. Feel free to make a request. I'm more than happy to have a look at it for you. So I suppose from my perspective, get the word out there. It's just me trying to be an encouragement in this world that we're in today. So that's it for today, and we'll move on to our scheduled videos next time. And to finish off with, here's that opening title for you. Catch you around.